EG earlier today. We'll see if maybe they can work through him this time around. I'm trying to remember the exact stat that Jat shared on the desk at the start of the day, but something along the lines of 19 champs. But it's actually Benny that's going to be subbed in for Mad Team. He'll be there in the jungle.
All about getting some stage experience in this game where the team is already eliminated. You might think, okay, does that hurt the chances for EDG to force the tiebreaker? Let's remember back to yesterday where a certain jungle Camille came off the bench and won an important game for Fengvu Buffaloes. It has been a world that's been very kind to sub players.
That's true. I mean, Kanye, though, he was the all-pro jungler in the LMS, so it's definitely going to also put some extra burden on the rest of Mad Team, I feel like. Let's see what they can pull out, because already starting off with Xayah is a strong place.
Well, the point that I was making before I realized that there was a substitute in the jungle is I believe Jat said there were 19 different picks so far this Worlds that had only been played by a single player. Pocket picks are the name of the game. They're cool now. I want to see Mad Team break out something from the back pocket as KT Rolster does go for the Irelia for themselves. Responded to with the Xayah and the Gragas. Nothing too meta-breaking yet.
Yeah, blind Irelia here. Now, Irelia is a flex pick. Smeb is definitely one of the top laners that would take a skill matchup with this champion. So don't automatically assume this is going to the mid lane, even with a Shen locked in, possibly support Shen there. So a lot of flexibility here from KT Rolster, and that's what you want to see from a team on the blue side.
And I think it's very likely that Benny will be jumping on the Gragas. He's largely this year, of course, played a lot less in summer with Kongyo taking over, been focusing on the tank junglers. So the Gragas kind of straddles the line, can still build ability power, but it's a skill set that he's developed. So we'll see how he looks on the world stage. And just rounding out the draft here for the side of Mad Team. Seems like power picks across both sides, but I think you're definitely right. To me, Smeb and Yukal, both great Irelia players.
Smeb and Yukal, some guys who have done plenty of heavy lifting for KT Rolster throughout this tournament. They've had plenty of good performances for themselves. Going into the second round robin today, they were #1 and #2 in overall KDA among all groups. Yukal had a 28.0, Smeb had a 24.0. Those are extremely high numbers.
And already here too, we did see the takeaway of the Lissandra. Uniboy feels like he is going to pull off some Aftershock as well. I believe that's what he used. And we'll see if that will be a good nullifier for the mid lane, because that's a good, decent answer. Irelia, everyone always talks about the level 6 going all in for the kills, so if it happens to be swapped to the mid lane, he does have an answer.
But Mad Team does seem to be subscribing to the fact that it might be a top lane Irelia for Smeb with 2 more mid lane bans. There's 2 reasons to do this. One is just to attack a champion, but also maybe they want to force it to be a top lane Irelia and have a matchup in mind for that.
We have also seen, of course, top lane Lissandra as well. That's why we're seeing Syndra ban come out from KT Rolster. They are also covering all bases.
Well, now that those bans have been completed in the second phase, Swain, LeBlanc, Syndra, Kindred, what is the pick here from Mad? Thinking about the Nocturne there in the jungle, which would, of course, mean that the Gragas has to go somewhere else, likely into that support position for K.
Now, Nocturne is actually one of my favorite combinations with Lissandra. Lissandra has her greatest strength coming in on a flank for the enemy team. And if you Nocturne ult right as a Lissandra teleports or approaches from the side with the claw, it makes the Lissandra's job so much more easy to execute.
That claw obfuscation, the fact that you have so little vision to be able to see what's happening around you, means your wits are largely going to be elsewhere. We're looking on the side of KT Rolster. The inner jungler is going to be Xin Zhao once again for score. Was victorious on that pick against EDG in the first round robin. Final pick here. They could play around with the Shen. It might just be the support. Now it's confirmed to be the Gragas in the bot lane. See what Mata picks up for the team on the side of KT.
One more to go, and with Sion being the lock-in, you would assume, yes, it is the Shen support, unless Sion's looking to kick around some minions there in the bottom lane. Highly doubt it.
I wonder if it'll be the mid lane Sion. That's my interesting question here. Notice that we do have the Camille locked in, and the split push pressure of Wundo was a big highlight earlier in the season. So let's see how this one goes here.
Exactly. I saw them rushing into the Camille pick here. Oh, Sion, great. Let's do the Camille. Let's do the split push. Swap that sucker up to laying in the top side. However, KT Rolster, not so quick there. Yukal holding on to this one for now.
Sometimes you want to hold on a little bit longer. You didn't need to lock it in instant, but feeling confident. We'll see if we get that confirmation. Coming down to 20 seconds on this time.
20 seconds left, and that means Irelia's top. Scion is mid here for the side of KT Rolster. This team that can still finish this group 5-1. This team that can still walk away with that first seed right here.
I am incredibly excited to have the opportunity now for a carry v carry matchup here at Worlds. We have had plenty of tanks, a full roster, but now we've got Liang versus Smeb, Aurelia versus Camille. Who can get the advantage? Because when both teams are running these carry top laners, that determines so much of the mid game, who will have the pressure on the sideline.
And just with the texture of the drafts we're seeing, there was a bit of a preview of what we might have when we hit the best of fives. Yes, there will be tank v tank games. There will also be carry v carry games with all the buffs to Darius, Fiora, and the more seen Camille, and the champions we're seeing in the meta right now. We saw Jax yesterday. Anything is possible at the highest level.
And you said that you wanted to see creativity come out from Mad Team. We wanted to see them try something different here in this final game they'll be playing at Worlds 2017. And specifically what I want to see is Mad Team try to get ahead. I mentioned when we saw KT up against EDG, they've spent barely any time in a big deficit so far at Worlds. And if you can put them there, maybe they won't know how to get back. Maybe that's your win condition here for Mad Team, trying to find that first win.
This has also got to be such an exciting moment here for Benny. His first game on the world stage, getting to participate with the rest of the squad versus one of the world's very best. KT Rolster, you cannot buy experience like this.
Definitely cannot, especially because they've been paired together now for the better part of 2 years. Yes, Yukal did join a couple of weeks into the spring season this year, but the veteran status of 4 players here who are both all legends in their role and also have a very extensive history, both at the World Championship and domestically, does mean that KT, it often does slide into place. But like Flowers says, a couple of quick kills and suddenly KT will be on the back foot 2 games in a row.
Now let's see if we're going to get anything delayed here in the jungle as an early start. You're not seeing any deep vision. You're not seeing any immediate invades. K is just hanging out there on that ward. Not a big deal because he's in neutral territory, but seems like we won't get too much of it. Both junglers going to be starting on the bottom side of the map. Benny at the blue, Score at the red, and nothing too special really to talk about there with those starts. Yeah,
we do have a leash here from Mad Team, helping slingshot this Nocturne towards level 6. Of course, the idea, try and get him level 6 as early as possible. Maybe he'll pay it back in the bottom side, but this does mean that Mata and Deft have the inside track on the minions. They will be able to execute them quickly here, get the push going. It looks like Breeze will quickly answer, and we see the very classic by now, almost standard jungler through the bottom side, up to the Scuttle Crab. Passes by that ward, but does get seen by the Pixel Brush one, I
That was the
believe.
same camp tried earlier in the tournament against Team Liquid the first time out. They got a lot more value that time. Much safer entrance to lane the long way from Mad Team. Means no health bar advantage for Deft and Mata in the 2v2.
Yeah, Mad Team really making sure they respect that probability that there's going to be Score pathing through there early on. As Smeb's dashing around here, trading back and forth with Liang early on, but Liang's getting the better of him. He might just find the solo kill on the Smeb. It was down to a single auto attack, but first blood to Mad Team.
That is incredible here. Smeb gets solo killed on the world stage. Level 2 carry, V carry within the minions, and Liang is able to make it happen. You saw the shield come up here. Adaptive shield from Camille helping out in the trade and kind of forcing him back off.
Smeb starts at a health disadvantage, but the stun registers QE skilled up by Smeb. Tries to play around vision. It ends up being close, but I think it was Camille comfortably at the clutch.
The minions almost finished the job, but able to duck into the brush in time. Means that Smeb will not get a return kill in that trade, and now Liang's underneath the turret as Score's hanging out nearby.
Yeah, now that action is going to attract junglers. You see actually both of them. Since Benny on the Nocturne has gone with a hard power clear, he's cleared every single camp up towards this side in his efforts to try and reach level 6 as quickly as possible. He'll end in this area as well, so if Score does end up actually leaving, Smeb might have to have another reset.
Does mean that Xin Zhao's missed out on a lot of camps. He's going to go pick up his blue buff now. I just wanted to allow the shop to come through some items here for Smeb, who's piecing together, honestly, whatever he can get.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time, though. He did have to go with the recall because Score is like, hey, I can't spend all day up here. I've got almost all my camps up. I need to go clear my camps. You're going to have to recall, take another hit as far as the CS is going, because this Nocturne, one of the biggest benefits of doing this hard clear, power farming route is actually that your camps will come up that much quicker for the second round, which are more valuable, and you can use those before you go for your first gank. Right now, though, he's heading down the river while he has some time on the small ones respawning.
Yep, still a little bit of time to go. Remember, this isn't the olden jungle of Season 6 and everything before where the camps are just constantly popping up. You've got some downtime to see if you can make something happen, but it doesn't look like Benny has the opportunity to really get in there anytime soon, as Score will go right back to the chickens. And we'll see him farm those up. He is doing it on a ward, but it's not really a big deal. There's no contest here.
Yeah, Score, the only difference here, he hasn't been able to go for a recall. He spent his time grabbing those scuttle crabs, which is very important, providing quite a lot of golden experience as well. But he's got his duty to finish off clearing his small camps before he goes for the recall, and has caught back up very nicely.
Do love seeing the aggressive hookshot trades. One of the best ways to win as the Camille in lane is to feel aggressive enough to take a hookshot trade. They knew the Xin Zhao was on the bottom side of the map, so no counter ganks available. So trade up while you have this item lead, as Lang does.
Exactly. Again, we've seen the most success for teams here at Worlds this year when they show no fear, going right to the opponent. Leon, no exception here on the Camille, and you can see Smeb now playing respectfully.
Trying to minimize any sort of additional losses he might take, recognizing that he did get solo killed earlier, not wanting to put himself at any more risk as he farms up. Benny on the top part of the map will find level 5 now, 5.5 minutes into the game, grabbing that Scuttle Crab. Next level means it's time to hit the go button.
Next level.
Leon goes in. He has the ultimate available here on the Camille. Hextech ultimatum not going to be issued, but Smeb takes the pain on that one.
And that is with the minion wave here, cannon wave pushing. So Smeb in a dangerous spot. That is his last tick of the corrupting potion charge. Benny almost level 6 coming over on the Nocturne. He really wants to go get level 6 first. If he did Krugs, he would get it, but it's not going to be the case. Score's coming up to protect. We're seeing a mid lane roam, though. They could force it through, even with that.
Ain't no party like a top lane party. Let's see if Mad Team can make it happen. Smeb's almost back up to full HP. Lissandra Claw coming through. Score's going to be in some trouble and immediately deleted. Flash coming away from Smeb, but he's still going to be locked down by the ulti. Hextech ultimatum comes out. Reinforcements have arrived. Yucal smashes them and manages to get one in return. Can he grab the kill onto Benny as well? Uniboy trying to provide the peel. The fear's gonna go off, but not in time. The double kill goes over, and Yucal makes it an even trade.
The instant proc there of the Q, enough to finally pick up the kill as the fear tether was about to hit. So he does spare the blushes of his duo there, the jungle and the top lane. Bot side kind of wondering what this was all about, but it's all about timings, and specifically Uniboy having his ult up.
Yeah, Mad Team, they see juicy opportunity here. 3 members, they easily take down Score quickly under the turret, but with the roam up through the river, Yucal gets into position, hits the AoE knock-up, is able to zone them backwards so they can focus down the Camille first and then turn on the Nocturne.
Then he tried to get away, but that was so close to that fear going off. He just quick casted the Q right at the very end to grab the kill there. Good play coming out from Yucal. At bottom side, it's KT looking to return the favor. Score goes in with a vengeance. Finds himself that first kill. K's in some trouble. No ulti to disengage anything. Deft goes right back in with a killer instinct, but now Benny wants to mop him up. Can't quite do it. One more turret shot would have made it happen, but that's still going to be advantage for KT.
You love to love the mind games there from Deft. Steps back, then ults in with the killer instinct shield to guarantee the kill. Paranoia's not enough, and that time KT get the gank around bot lane to get the bot side of the map going.
KT Rolster now ahead in gold after the strong start from Mad Team. Let's take another look at how it started, though, because this is a good job from Score. Now, notice he's level 5 right now, so he jumps in, he gets the kill, immediately levels up his ultimate, does not auto-attack the Gragas, uses the ult for the knockback to gain that extra distance, and then Deft, when his level 6 comes in, he gets to use the killer instinct to finish off the second kill.
That's definitely some quick leveling up there, so a little tip at home. The control R was very important.
Hotkeys, very important, even for the level ups, so definitely have that ready.
We talk about big brain plays in League of Legends. That Your head's got to be hurting when your brain's able to be big enough to react to that in the moment. I really like the heads up there from Score, recognizing the fact that he would level and being able to make that play. It does mean that 2 kills over to KT gets them the gold lead, even though it's pretty slight right now. K makes his way back down towards the bottom side. Scuttle was secured by the side of Mad Team, so KT will be spotted as they rotate through that bottom part of the river.
Now there's some silver lining also for the Aurelia, who as we know cannot trade with the enemy to kill Camille against a couple of assists for Aurelia because of what's going on in the bot lane. Once the laning phase is over, Kai'Sa and Shen are both so important when it comes to actually helping a skill matchup go their way. The Stand United is the obvious one, right? Just pop in, the taunt, the ability to have a bit of an extra shield, but actually Kai'Sa in Korea at least is often using a 1-3-1 just to combo ult with the killer instinct to join. So there's multiple ways to bail Smeb out of a solo kill lane that he's really been struggling in.
A very good point, and you really, really need to keep up the communication. Call every back from the enemy bottom lane, because even before a 1-3-1 setup, before turrets have fallen, if you get the early recall on the Kai'Sa, you can even go through lane and go for one of those ganks for your top laner. It's rarely seen to gank for the top laner as a marksman, but pulling in that lane swap can have huge rewards as well. Currently, though, on the bottom side, Score making another pass.
And remember, if you try to go on to anybody on KT that is not named Mata, Stand United now stands ready, and that means they have so much extra protection power. As bottom side, it's both junglers.
There's 4 control wards
they're ready
and
to go.
Benny in vision here, so the vision advantage for KT is immense.
Score could jump in here over that wall. See if Benny can get out. Damage coming through there. Wind becomes lightning, slows him on down. Nice cast to try to save him, but Deft still has the final shot.
This switch in focus from KT after the solo kill on top side and the maybe successful follow-up there on the tower dive has really been the key for them. Returning down bottom once again, they invade on Benny, and they take it to the Nocturne before the Nocturne can make the offensive play.
And let's talk about how important it is to have a control ward line down the river and the brush control on the bot side of the map. That means that Yukal can do his best Galio impression and ult down the river at any moment. So he'll just duck down the bot, he'll kite down bot after clearing the wave, and then you are so immensely scared that Benny is called in for a counter gank, but even that is in vision of KT.
Biggest indicator when you're looking for a team's next step is to follow the control wards. Where do the wards point you? And that is the way to the next objective. First turret bonus gold does go down for KT Rolster on the bottom side.
And that is the 6th out of 6 games that KT has got first turret here in the group stage. This team's control over early objectives has been rather immaculate at this point, and they've got themselves a 2,000 gold lead because of it. They've got themselves in another major lead because of it, which, as I stated in the game against EDG, they've had for about 2/3 of their total time on Summoner's Rift during the group stage.
And that means, compared to Afrika, who might be in bailout, our top lane carry perspective, when you are blessed to have Deft and Mata on the bot side, when you do have other options to play around, you can make counter plays. But Mad Team's top laner is where their gold is largely centered, and he's on the prowl for now.
Yeah, they have control wards of their own, and they're placed around the mid lane. A lot of Mad Team lying in wait, looking for this Scion.
But that's a Scion, Kobe. That's a big old meatball. And the thing is about trying to kill meatballs, it's really hard. I don't know how well that's going to work out.
Also true if they're hugging the turret here. Yukal with some intelligent play, not risking anything. There's no need for him to step up to the minion wave versus a Lissandra, not accounting for the rest of the team. You can definitely tell the communication going through, and the ability of KT Rolster here to keep track of the enemy opponents when they are not revealing themselves within their own lanes.
And they've really become strong at knowing where they're weak and knowing where they have power. And that's an important thing. You see Smeb just chilling in a brush. He understands he can't contest wave against Camille. Same thing about Yukal, and it's map read to not walk up with 4 members of Mad Team on the prowl. They're doubling down on bot side control. 1 control ward around the blue buff. But otherwise, KT just looking for ways to grow what is, at the moment, about a 2,500 gold lead.
KT with a stranglehold over the bottom jungle of Mad Team right now. So many wards being placed down. Liang, the strong point of Mad Team, as you've said. Benny's here on the top side to maybe facilitate some sort of a dive. This is the only part of the map they're strong in. They're looking to build that strength even further, and they'll find the kill in the Smeb.
Nice stun right there off of the turret coming through. Benny clearing the ward, and they instantly pull the trigger after they finish it. That should be a tower in answer for Mad Team.
Most people might be surprised by how early the Nocturne ult was and the fact that it was under turret, but remember, that denied the Shen from joining in to try to help the health bars under a turret. You think about Shen coming in, the dodge field is going to be deadly against Camille and Nocturne. Then if you end up getting hit by the Aurelia ult, you're disarmed, so needed to be proactive around that play, did Mad Team.
Quick decision-making goes such a long way versus a team with reactive ultimates like Stan United.
And now Score has taken the opportunity to grab the first Drake of the game here for his team. There was no rush on that one. Mountain Drake #1 will come into more use later on in the game, but we're still only 14 minutes in, so it's not like Baron's alive. It's not like big turret pushes are going to come in from either side all the way down, marching towards the base. Instead, it's just Yucal and Uniboy farming up here in the mid lane. Yucal slightly behind in terms of farm, but man, he's a Scion. It's okay to fall behind a little bit. You're still going to be so useful in all these fights.
It's okay for him because he can rely on Deft. 2 kills and a large CS lead for the Kai'Sa on KT Rolster. Meanwhile, though, for Mad Team, yes, they are behind, but they're not so far behind that they still cannot find success through this Camille in the side lane. Liang, level 11 now on the Camille, trying to continue split pushing. Meanwhile, in the jungle, though, we're still trading with a couple supports here as Kay taking the blast cone over with Mata.
Mata gets himself away with the blast cone. Kay goes over the wall, but he's like, nah, I really don't want to hang out here. This doesn't seem like a very cool place. I'm not very welcome. And Shelly is quickly going to be evicted from her Riverside home as KT decide they want some more pushing power here in the mid-game. They'll pick up the Eye of the Herald, and we'll see where they decide to drop.
Good timing on the start there from the side of KT. Uniboy was on a back. Camille, who has most of the gold for Mad Team, was down bot lane, so wasn't going to be a contest. They continue to push along to KT Rolster. Want to find a way to take this top lane turret, and that's why so much vision has been placed around this quadrant.
Yeah, KT really want to finish up the second outer turret here before the Camille Trinity Force comes in. This is going to be much easier for Liang to get to this power spike than Smeb. Smeb trying to catch up, still very much trailing. And once that does come through, it can really, open up this game. Look at the individual gold difference here. Almost 14,000 just between these two.
And when they're the same archetype of character, when they're both
100.
the fighter, when they're both the fighter diver and they're both building the exact same items, it quickly turns into a you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about situation with the inventories. As Smeb's just like, man, I wish I had those same items. He's doing the same thing, he's just not doing it as well right
And the only way that KT can continue to build what is just a slender gold lead is to play elsewhere than Smeb, so unfortunately has to continue just taking what feels like a dog matchup. He just has to deal the best he can when he's outgunned by both the roams and also the 1v1. Yucal sparing the blushes for a little bit, but until the Infernal Drake spawns, everyone's playing topside from KT.
It really does do so many interesting things to the game when, yes, overall KT Rolster have this big gold lead. However, individually, if you can isolate it to just those two champions, Camille versus Aurelia, that would be where Mad Team could look to make a play, and currently is going to get some alone time with this turret.
And honestly, the KT lead, it's not super huge. It's about 1,000 gold, which was where the EDG versus KT matchup also was for a very long time in the early mid-game.
Junglers heading down bottom. If they make a play in this area, that is the best possible opportunity for Mad. See if Score forces it.
All right, give me that 2v2 action. Let's see it here. Smeb's still defending. Score behind him, ready in case the dive comes in. Remember, they also have the Shen that could go in on this one. Looking to keep him safe as here comes the dive. Score's going to be kept alive for now. That defensive field from the Shen is so important, and Benny pays the price. Liang is shut down now, and a double kill over to Smeb is a big win for KT.
Mata not going to be caught sleeping this time.
No,
they
sir.
were well prepared for this one. The early Stand United, right as Mad Team fully commit to the tower dive, turns it all around.
And it was also a rude awakening spotting Score as he went for the hook shot. didn't want to find two members there. Score level 11 as that play begun. Didn't die at the start. They brought in the backup, and now KT have kills on the Aurelia. And speaking of kills,
Deft, top side, gonna grab himself a solo kill onto Breeze. If Breeze isn't careful, Mata coming around trying to make it a reality. Good flash over the wall from Breeze getting away. But Score, this guy in the jungle for KT, you pick the Zins out to have success in the early game, and he's at 100% KP from plays like this.
and when people talk about pathing junglers, they talk about Score because he knows to be in the right spot. The stun does register mid-hook shot. Score is there as well, and that's the start of a good play for the side of KT.
Again, it could have been such a different story if you get an earlier Nocturne ultimate to block the Stand United and they finish off Score. But with the communication here and the timing on KT, Mata gets the Stand United off, and that means KT actually get a win on what would be their only weak part of the map.
The scary part is it's a bit of a 1-2, maybe even a 3-punch when we talk about the Rift Herald, because the lead in the other parts of the map, we already talked about how at the time Aurelia was behind, was only going to be felt on the next back from Deft when he finished his Stormrazor and also the Rage Blade for a duo of things. Now the kills are there, the Trinity Force there for the Aurelia, and what about a mid lane turret to be the cherry on top?
Mid lane turret over to KT, and I joked around earlier about the inventory difference when they wanted the same thing from the top laners this game. Now it is the same thing. Ninja Tabby, Tiamat, Trinity Force. It's a corrupting potion versus 2 Dorian's Blades, and at this point in the game, that difference is minimal. The mid lane, the other solo laner for KT, Yukao's got Righteous Glory, Gargoyle Stoneplate, and a Giant's Belt to further pad the health. He's a monster.
And now we are about to transition into those team fights, so it's very important that Yukao, gonna be the point man for the team on this Scion, has those tanky abilities. His Righteous Glory will allow the easy engage. Further though, Mad Team actually jumping to the objective here. They should be able to finish this off quickly.
They want to grab that Infernal Drake, but KT is not willing to give it over without a fight. Smeb's coming in first. Leon's going to be in some trouble here. Multiple members collapsing, and they take down the most fed member of Mad Team. Now they collapse under the Drake. Thanks for the leash, boys. KT pick it up and walk on out.
I really thought Leon was going to come help with the dragon, but now Deft!
Deft wants to go in. He missed the solo kill earlier. He wants to find it now. Breeze is taken down. Deft goes into the stasis. Benny uses the ulti, but now there's no way out. The taunt comes in. The smash comes down. The kill goes through and Scores on a killing spree.
And that's what happens there. Deft opens up because of the artist. The fight continues.
More smashes, more dashes, more crashes as the bullets come through, and Deft is on a rampage.
KT Rolster takes so much off of that. I thought Mad Team had the perfect little play there, sneaking over to the Inferno with a timing window to try and burn it down and then run away, given the deficit. But they go for the engage, and KT Rolster happy to take that one, and they take most of the rest of the map.
KT is back with a vengeance. They say we shouldn't have lost to EDG. We're not gonna lose here. We want first place in this group, and this big purple worm's gonna help us.
And there's a reason why people have wanted KT on the international stage for the past 2 years in full flight. They are such a treasure to watch. The fight looked like it'll be over after just a single kill. But KT, they take the kill, they take the Inferno, and then Deft says, wait, I can play make. He puts down his Trinket Ward, and he goes in from there.
Yeah, Breeze not respecting the Trinket Ward giving vision, so that allows Deft to hit his W, take the Killer Instinct, and he's got stopwatch ready. That means the rest of the team can punish anyone waiting around him afterwards. And actually didn't even stop here, because K went in, used the ultimate to try and push back Mata, and an offensive Lissandra ult opens him up for a taunt. And another shot there from Deft picking up the kill.
That is always a feels bad when the final auto attack is in flight and you flash not seeing it. That means a summoner spell is wasted and Uniboy still falls as he and the rest of Mad Team are now tasked with defending against a KT squadron that is 7,000 gold ahead, that has Baron up on everyone and is now pressuring further into their territory.
Lincoln, you'll miss it when it comes to the gold leads in games like this. Like you say, it was so competitive not 5 minutes ago. Suddenly the game is blown open. Smeb has an item lead over his opponent. About parity, I guess. You know, there's a bit of lifesteal versus the stopwatch has been bought, but it's not going to be impactful. Yukal on the front is unkillable, and KT want to break the base pre-25 minutes.
What's going to stop him?
Well, before today, nothing had. It was a single Baron equals a single win for KT Rolster before today, and now they are looking to make this one complete and take their spot at the top of the group as a first seed. Only inhibitor turrets now left in their way on the bottom lane.
3 players on KT remain unkilled yet this game. Yukal's deciding to start off the fight, goes in on the Scion, utilizing the ultimate to zone Mad Team away. K on the side here, looking for maybe a chance to isolate someone with a well-placed barrel, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Mad Team does have a large minion wave built up in the top lane. They've got their top laner in the mid lane. TP available. Yukal and the rest of KT continuing this push. The tier 3 under siege taken down to about 1/3 HP now. Breeze continuing to try to find the damage, but over the wall goes KT. The damage comes in. Uniboy going to keep himself alive with the ultimate from the Lissandra as the Irelia ulti finds its targets. Breeze looking to kite himself back. It's Score going into the stasis. It's Breeze taken down by Def. Unstoppable on this Kaisa. And who is going to challenge him now? Benny's out of the picture. Over the wall goes Def. He's going to make it a triple. Can he find number 4? Uniboy runs away, but Def has his number. One more auto attack to seal the deal, and that's a quadra kill over to KT Rolster's 80 carry. And that's the game-winning fight.
KT got the early dinner reservations. They want this one done. It was up in the air 5 minutes ago. It's over now.
Up in the air, and it comes crashing back down to earth. Mad Team will fall, KT will take first, and they'll take the Nexus.
Well-deserved first seed here for KT Rolster. And them, along with RNG, are going to be why teams are going to be battling so hard for those remaining first seed spots in the following day. You do not want to play these teams in the best of 5s right out of the bat in the quarterfinals.
No, sir, you want to avoid these guys as long as you can. Impressive showing here. You already said how in all but one of their games in groups, it was 1 Baron, 1 game from KT Rolster. No reason, they say, to change that up here in game number 6.
Now we can listen to the roar of the Busan faithful for the hometown favorites here when it comes to a Korean win. Fans applaud KT Rolster, the players finally on the world stage. Not quite the 6-0, but 5-1. And like you mentioned, so many tantalizing opponents.